Hello and welcome to Business Finishing School. Let your business brain finish what your entrepreneurial heart started. Our catalyzing statement is a successful entrepreneur inside of every business. Enjoy this module. Well, welcome to Module 12. You've been with us a full year, and we are extremely appreciative of that. We hope that this has way outpaced your expectations. And what I think is so important is that you've immersed yourself in a ritualistic, rhythmic process to month by month work on improving your business. And to us, that's extremely exciting to contemplate, and I think celebration is in order. So a part of your homework for this month after you complete the module and the implementation is that I want you to celebrate. Set up a celebration. You, your spouse, whoever you care about, but do something to say, wow, we did something, and reflect upon it a little bit. But also, I want to tell you about year 2, or maybe I'm going to ask Rick to tell you a little bit about year 2 in the process, because we want you to stay connected. We don't want you to start drifting away. Stay immersed in the ritual and the rhythm of working on principles for your business every single month. So, Rick, tell them a bit about year 2.
Well, first, I'm excited to be here with you in Module 12. Year 2 promises to be as packed with data, content, and principles as year 1 was. We also have a year 3 and a year 4. We think that business success and success in all areas of life is an ongoing rhythmic process. So, right below the video, you'll see a link to all of the modules for year 2. There's going to be 12 modules. It will be very similar to this year. Another thing that we'd like you to do is you'll see on the website the 2 live business mastery intensive boot camps. Both Patrick and I will be there with you and your peers, groups of people that are learners just like you. We think the energy in these events will be amazing. So we'd really like you to look at your calendar, look at the dates of those live Business Mastery Intensive Boot Camps, and make plans to be at least to one of those events. This will be an opportunity for you to really hammer home what you learned.
And I want you to know I have over 15 years of experience running intensive boot camp style trainings, and they are transformational. I think it's important once in a while to get out of your office, get out of your business, get out of your home, go somewhere, and immerse yourself into a process that's going to really help you grow and solidify what you've been learning, and to share ideas and mastermind and be around other people. You know, one of our concepts for the way that this program is designed is that you can do it on your own time, on your own rhythm. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have travel expenses, but you need to take some time out of your schedule to go out and spend a few intensive days working on it, and that's what the Business Mastery Intensives are all about. So make sure, if you haven't booked and scheduled already and been to one, that you do. And kind of selfishly, I have to say, we'd really like to meet you face to face. Right now I'm looking at the lens of a camera, and I'm trying to picture you looking on the other side of that camera back at me, and so I'm speaking to you in a connected way. But I would really like to look right into your eyes, shake your hand, hear about your experience, hear about ways that you think we could improve the program, hear about what you liked about the program, etc. It'd be wonderful to meet with you face to face. I know Rick and I both share the enthusiasm for doing that. So show up there.
Module 12, lifelong investment success. And what I've learned in my journey, and Patrick has learned this as well, that for some reason, and we can't really figure it out, but entrepreneurs and business owners tend to be the worst investors. And I think some of that behavior comes from the fact that they tend to make money in fits and starts, and when they get a big check in, the first thing they want to do is spend that money, whether it's putting in the market, or listening to their brother-in-law, or listening to a friend, or buying a house that's bigger than they really need. And there's something about human nature that says, I've got this money, I've got to do something with it. The first thing I want to do is talk about a principle as it relates to lifelong investing success. But before I do that, Patrick would like to say something.
Couple things about this module. Number one, it's really blended as far as principle and application. So we're not going to separate them out. We're going to put them together in a single module, and I think you'll see how that makes sense. Number 2, and this is a clear disclaimer, so please listen carefully. Rick and I are not financial advisors. We're not here to give you financial advice. What we're here to do is to talk about the principles of lifelong investment success, give you some applications on how that might work, but our recommendation is that you work with a professional financial planner, one who probably agrees with the principles that we'll be presenting here, who can look at your specific situation and give you the proper type of advice that you need to succeed with lifelong investment. So don't take it from here and say, okay, I just got the investment advice I need for the rest of my life. This is a module to steer you in the right direction here and hopefully maybe steer you away from some pitfalls. And I think this module is as much about what not to do as it is what you should do. So given that context, Rick, where would you start them out?
Well, the main principle that I love to talk about is that a dollar in your business is worth far more than a dollar out of your business. And we learned about that in the business entity structure. So what we'd like for you to think about is when you're going through your life and your business starts to make money, what you want to do is keep that money inside your business. Because if you've learned anything in the past year, it's that your business, as it grows, can help you get involved in other things, other passions that you have. You can create a holding company structure, or the existing business that you have can be, in essence, a holding company. I don't want that to be a complicated word for you. All the holding company means is as you come up with other ideas, you make the investment from your company. You don't take the money out of your business, pay 50% taxes, have it wash through your personal accounts, and then go off into another investment. You just make the investment from your business. A lot of extremely wealthy people that we've talked about over the past year, their wealth is created because they keep everything inside their business. And then at some future date, 20, 30, 40 years later after they start their business, they're able to sell a piece of their business for huge sums. We heard recently in the press about Warren Buffett giving the Bill Gates Foundation over $30 billion. Over time they're going to give it, but they made a commitment of $30 billion. Well, do you think that Warren Buffett would have the $30+ billion to give to Bill Gates if every year he was taking money out of the business? No. Bill Gates adhered to this principle, and Warren Buffett adhered to the principle, and that is keep your money in your business, and then at some future date have a wealth event. And that was what enabled Warren Buffett to give Bill Gates a large sum, and it's also what enabled Bill Gates to create a large net worth. Yes, he's always sold a little bit of Microsoft stock in recent years every year to create wealth, but he first had to build the wealth inside of Microsoft. So, having said that, I want you to think about your business as a golden goose, and that golden goose is your wealth generating vehicle. So, one of the principles that I like to share with you is, as an owner of a business, if your objective is to grow a long-term enduring enterprise and ultimately to create wealth for yourself, make sure that you are on a salary, just like your employees. That salary could be higher than your other employees, but make it be a salary. And what that does is it adds rhythm and consistency to your life. And don't get off of that, because here's what happens. You have rhythm and consistency in your life. You and your family and the important people in your life know what it is. It's not, oh, I want to buy a new car. Let me sweep the bank account of the business. Oh, I have a child that needs to go to college. Let me sweep the bank account of the business. Oh, we've got this addition we want to add on our house. Let's sweep the account. What that does is it adds distrust to your company. It adds distrust to your management team. It adds distrust to your vendors. Your accountant may be looking at that. Well, why is this person not respecting their own business? Why are they not respecting the golden goose? So look at your business first and foremost as a golden goose. Another thing that we're going to talk about as it relates to lifelong investment success is that you and your business are things that you can control. When you look at the stock market as the entity that's going to provide you a lot of riches, you're looking at somebody outside of yourself that you have no control of. So what Patrick and I believe is, keep your money in your business, organize your personal life so that you've got everything taken care of. In other words, we believe in setting aside 1 full year of expenses in the event something happens to you in cash. So you've got to kind of fill that bucket up. So that's taken care of in your personal life.
And just to make that kind of clear, if for example, I'm just picking an easy number, if your personal overhead is $10,000 a month to pay all your bills, you want 120 grand minimal in cash, always available in case lightning should strike. You've got enough cash to live a year without having any income whatsoever. And it's not even just so much the fact that you have the cash as an insurance policy there for you. And you might say, well, I have disability, I have this. We understand that. But the bottom line is that you have the freedom of knowing that, wow, I've got such a good cushion relative to that, that I wouldn't want to risk that money on something that's kind of a obscure or high-risk investment to try to leverage it into something much, much bigger. You want to have security first in place there.
So the way to build up that personal nest egg, again, isn't about sweeping the bank account of your business. It's about a very simple principle that we talked about in prior modules that Emerson said. The way to create wealth in both your business and your personal life is that your expenses are less than what you bring in. So you want to build up that nest egg and put that year's worth of expenses aside by way of living prudently. Now, a lot of people talk about, oh, it's not about sacrifice. Well, it may not be about sacrifice. Is it a sacrifice that you don't have to have a house bigger than you need? I don't think it's a sacrifice. I think living in a house that suits you exactly for what you need versus having to have the biggest house on the block is actually a good cleansing thing for your life. And it enables you to live on purpose. So you're not having to live beyond your purpose, so to speak. So the bottom line here is you want to do those very prudent, conservative things to first get your personal life in order. Again, having money set aside, being properly insured. We're not selling anything, but we want you to meet with somebody that you respect that will have you be properly insured so that you have that taken care of in the event that something catastrophic happens. Now let's move to another principle that we want you to think about, and this will be more thoroughly explained in the implementation guide. And it's the concept of finance. We all need finance, and what I mean by finance is at times you need loans to expand your business or buy a car or buy a house or put an addition on your house or pay for college. And your need for finance will always outstrip your need for rate of return. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people will take crazy risks with their money because they think they need to grow their net worth, when in reality, on the other side, they're spending all this money in finance charges, interest and penalties and all this other stuff. So one way to look at yourself is as a bank. If you think of your business as your bank, and your business, as it grows its cash and becomes more and more wealthy, rather than going to a finance company and paying exorbitant rates and worrying about your credit, you could actually take loans against your business. And as you pay those loans back, you're getting interest on those loans. But I once met a gentleman, Richard Ayers is his name, and he actually created a family bank for him and his 9 children. Actually him, his wife, and his 9 children. And they actually all created businesses. They were very entrepreneurial. And what they figured out was, rather than going to a bank and getting loans for various things, why not have a family bank? So as you're paying interest, again, your need for finance, why not have the interest that you pay back come to the family itself? So I'm telling you all of this to try to get your mind away from looking outside of yourself for wealth generating opportunities that are outside of your area of expertise. Why so often do I come across entrepreneurs that spend so much money on their business, take money out, then put it in the market, an area that they cannot control, And then they're disappointed when this investment underperforms the market, or more importantly, underperforms what they would have done if they kept the money in the business and had the business invested in other lines of business or other aligned opportunities in the business, or maybe getting a new salesperson or a new employee that could bring in revenue. So the most important thing about lifelong investment success, in our opinion, is that you don't make investment mistakes. That's the most important thing here. Now, you've heard me bring up Warren Buffett's name, and his business is investing. That's a different story. If inside your business, one component of your business is the fact that you invest for a living and you've become an expert there, that's great. As part of your business model, you make investments. You're actually a different type of person. My business is that way. Part of our business model is that we make investments in other companies. We've built some expertise in that area. So the point that I'm trying to bring up here is, whatever you've become an expert at, use that expertise and the business's expertise to generate wealth in your business and have the value of your business go up. We believe, having looked at a lot of businesses, that you're going to create more wealth by growing the value of your business than you would by working on your business and putting investments outside of your control that are diverting your attention somewhere else. We've seen it time and time again. So often people become extremely wealthy by just focusing on their business and having it go up in value. Now, can you build wealth doing it the other way? Yes, but it's a long, slow road, and we believe that it takes your attention away from the task at hand.
A lot of what we're saying here is invest in yourself. Invest in yourself first. I think what Rick was describing, and I've seen it, and I'll give some real life examples, is that a lot of times people make money from their business and they take that cash and they say, oh, well, the smart thing to do is to put it into something else, something they don't understand, something they don't have control over. And as a matter of fact, many times they're working with financial planners who make a commission on them making that investment. So their interests aren't aligned. This person is saying, hey, take your money out and put it over here because they're going to get a cut, as compared to saying, hey, invest in yourself. For example, right now you're investing in this program. Every month you're putting up money to do this program, which is investing in you. Imagine if you took that same amount of money and put it in some outside investment every month. Imagine you even put it in a retirement account. Where is this going to do you more good? Learning principles are going to help you grow your business, maybe increase it by 50, 100, 200, 300%, lower your stress levels, increase your quality of life? Or do you say, oh, no, I can't spend any money. I have to just put it over here and sock it away. Austerity is not the way to get to wealth. Our position isn't that you save your way by scrimping and saving all the time to great riches. It's a matter of using the principle of leverage. It's a matter of investing in yourself first and not to go chasing after get-rich-quick schemes. I'd like to tell you one quick story about a doctor that I consulted with at one point who called me up. He was living in South Florida, and he had worked 15 years in a practice that was fairly successful. And he had taken pretty much all the cash he had. He had cash in hand of $750,000, all saved. So that's a substantial amount of cash for somebody in a doctor's office, a sole proprietor, if you will, to save $750,000 in cash after taxes and everything else. So somebody comes along and says, hey, I've got a great opportunity for you. Coin-operated laundromats. Now, what do you think this guy knows about coin-operated laundromats? But it was sold to him as a passive investment. Check this out. Put your $750 grand into these coin-operated laundromats, and people just come in and keep putting money in the machines, and you just keep going and collecting the money, and it's passive income. You don't have to do anything. Isn't this a phenomenal idea? That's what you need to be doing with your money. So look at the seduction here. So what did he do? The whole $750 grand went in, and he lost every single penny of it. How sad is that, to work for years and years and accumulate this money and then put it into something with the promise of passive income, pay off dividends. It's like having an annuity that's going to keep paying you every month, and he lost it all. I can't think of anything that would make me sicker in my stomach than seeing that happen to you, or happening to me, or happening to anybody, where you work so hard, you achieve and succeed, and then that quick it's just squandered. So the concept of investing in yourself first, I think, is important. An important consideration to apply here is values-based decision. If you are living your purpose through this business, you're expressing yourself, as we've spoken about over and over again throughout the program, and you're investing in your own business, obviously it's aligned with your values. But if you're going to invest outside of your business, it should also be in something that is aligned with your values. How do you go out and invest in something that is antithetical to what it is that you value? And many times people are invested in like mutual funds and things that have a bunch of mixed things in there. They have no idea what the investment is, just what's the performance of the fund, and they're out there with their money working against what they value. Now, I'm not saying that I'm anti-mutual funds. I'm saying that if you're going to invest in a mutual fund, you should know what the fund invests in and see if it's something that you're aligned with. You'll pay attention to things that you are passionate about and things that you care about. You will not pay attention to things that you are not passionate about and that you do not care about. And I'm talking from experience as somebody who has literally lost and squandered money going into investments like this. I'd love to tell you that I was this smart from day one. I'd love to tell you that, you know what, I always understood these principles, and that's why I've been able to, really save and accumulate and invest properly moving forward. No, what's happened is I worked my tail off for a lot of years. I've taken sums of money and put it into things, bought houses, bought real estate, got into things I had no concept of, that I wasn't very passionate about, and I ended up getting hurt financially because of it. But as Rick has said, I don't want to do that lesson 20 or 30 times. I've paid steep tuition in this area, and what we want to bring to the table here is some ideas, concepts, and orientation to help prevent that, hopefully, in your life when you start thinking about lifelong investment.
A lot of the principles that we're talking about right now will be hammered home in the implementation guide. There'll be lots of exercises for you to look at your business from a new light. One thing I'd like you to understand now is something that I learned from Warren Buffett. I love going to their annual meetings. They're power-packed with data. It's one of the best days of the year for me, hearing him answer questions for the entire day, from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Warren Buffett talks about, when it comes to investing, I only want you to remember 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't make stupid investment decisions. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Here's the problem with people, and we started the module this way. They like to make investment mistakes because they're looking at the other person who seems to have wealth, and the other person's saying, well, I did it this way or that way. What we want to do here, and I keep reiterating this over and over again, we want to increase the probability of your success. And the way to increase the probability of your success is to invest in yourself, just like Patrick was talking about earlier. I want to introduce a new concept to you right now. And the concept is called locking in your profits. Locking in your profits. I want you to imagine that you've incorporated a lot of the principles that you learned over the last 11 modules, and you had a really profitable year. And imagine that you're taking what we're talking about here and you're saying, I'm not going to pull money out of my business and pay a 50% income tax and fritter it away, either a bigger house or whatever. What I am going to do is lock it in my business. So you decide to buy a municipal bond, very conservative one, or you decide to buy some type of annuity, or you decide to lock it in a long-term, very safe investment. Now what you did, rather than having a big check, taking it out and investing in your brother-in-law's new restaurant, or investing it in the stock market that tends to go like this over time, you locked in that profit. That is yours to keep forever. And if you need money later, remember before I said your need for finance is greater than your need for investment return? You have a need for finance at a later date. Why not borrow against that locked in money? Now when you're paying back that money, and treat yourself like a bank, when you're paying back that money later, you're earning interest on it. It's a novel concept, but locking in your profits is all about when you have a gain, locking it in, socking it away, and using it to build the value of your business. When I look at businesses, it's so much better when I look at a business that's been around a long time and it's run in a very clean way, and there's assets and there's very little debt, and the owners take salaries and bonuses just like the executives, and they run it in a way that they want to be around a long time. Those businesses are always worth more, rather than the view that we often hear from people is, well, everybody knows when you own a company, you kind of pay for everything through the company. You run your cars and boats and expenses through the business. Yeah, everybody may know that, but people that buy businesses don't like that when they see it. Or people that finance businesses, if you want to sell a piece of your business later, people that finance businesses, they don't like to see that stuff either. I call that a short-term mentality, but a long-term enduring company, almost all of them have universal rules that they follow to keep the business tight, keep the business organized, keep it running simple, have cash in the bank that's invested wisely, locking in profits, honoring the principles that we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is wealth creation. And too often when I meet entrepreneurs, business owners, they are distraction creators. They're not in business to create wealth. They're actually in business unknowingly to create distractions. And I was recently with a friend of mine who's built up a business, and it was just sad to watch him in his home during the middle of the week when we were having a meeting, and people just kept disturbing us to fix the carpet or paint this room, or told them about the carpet in his boat that needed to be replaced. The pool person showed up, the lawn person. His life became one massive distraction. Now this is a person that set out unconsciously to create distractions, not necessarily to create wealth and to live on purpose. So the thing that we want you to derive out of this module is to keep everything simple, to leverage yourself through your business, and have your wealth come by increasing the value of your business and making decisions on a daily basis that are always going to make your business more valuable, keep the money in there, and pay yourself in a regular way to keep things rhythmic and simple. So again, you can see in this module that we're reinforcing all of the foundational principles of business success that you learned over the last 11 months. So if this module sounds like a recap of the entire year, it is a recap of the entire year. This is meant to say, look, if you do all the things right that we talked about throughout the past year, then the end result should be that your business increases in value. And if it's increasing in value, let's lock those profits in your business. And let's have those locked in profits build wealth for you, your family, for charity if you want at a later point like Warren Buffett, or for your family. If you are the type of person that absolutely positively feels better having an investment advisor and making sure that you've got money outside of your business entity and that your family's well taken care of in case the business is too focused and not diversified and you're worried, then make sure you are putting your money in the most conservative investments possible so that, again, you're locking in your profit. I had to say that here because a lot of people that I interact with who have gone through these modules say, yeah, but I have to have money somewhere else because I feel better at night. And so going back to rule number 1, don't make stupid investment decisions. Rule number 2 is always remember rule number 1. If you're going to take money outside your business, make sure it's conservative and make sure that you're doing the research necessary so you're ensuring the conservative nature of those investments. There was a book written about the black swan, which people never thought existed until a black swan was found. And a black swan is that random investment occurrence that does happen. People say, well, this cannot happen, but it can happen. The Great Recession of 2008 was a black swan event. So the point being, when you're making investments, consider that the black swan can happen. And that's why I believe that it's more important to be incredibly conservative and locking in your profits and putting them in conservative investments than taking the risk and making an investment that might be more risky than you should make and having that go down in value. It's better to leave some money on the table but be able to sleep at night and be conservative than to take the risk and have the opportunity to have gain and then have all those gains vanish because of a black swan event.
It's been a great journey over these 12 months through these 12 principles, and we want you to stay connected and be a part of this community. I think entrepreneurs, business entrepreneurs, people who have a vision of expressing their purpose and succeeding in their business on an ongoing basis need to be involved in a culture. And we are privileged to be with you in this particular culture. It's something that we're excited about, something that we said yes to, something that we want to see grow and expand. So please, let's continue the journey together. Let's keep sharing this experience. Let's see each other at the live events, and let's continue to push towards ever-expanding success. Thank you for watching this module of Business Finishing School. Let your business brain finish what your entrepreneurial heart started.